And welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. Joe, how are we doing here on a Sunday afternoon?
We are here, and that is about the most that we can ask of anyone. It's a tough loss for the Phils yesterday. They're going to play in about an hour and a half. Kind of on theme, what's your prediction for how this Phillies game is going to go?
Oh, I thought we were just saying we're keeping this evergreen, but no, I think Phils in four.
The Phils are forever. Oh, Phils in four.
Phils
okay,
in four. Phils in four. They're getting it done. Phils in four.
It's best of five.
Best of five, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know baseball.
That's the one weird thing about baseball. It's like the first series is best of five, then it goes best of seven. So
wasn't it best of three for like the play-in or whatever?
Well, yeah, that's what the wild card series that started a few years ago is best of three. So
sure, why not?
Just participation trophies all around, everyone getting in the playoffs. Not hockey. That's why it's the best playoffs. It's the best trophy.
Yeah.
It is the best trophy in all sports. It also is the great playoffs. And hopefully the Flyers will be getting back to the playoffs this season. We'll be predicting that and more here on this show. I'll make sure you are subscribed to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Like and comment there as well. Subscribe everywhere you get your podcast. Winamp, if you listen on a fridge, listen on a PS5. We appreciate all of those.
If you listen on a fridge, can you send us a photo? Like tweet us a photo of your fridge playing the Broad Street Hockey Podcast, because that would be incredible. We're always looking for exciting new listening devices.
Yeah, that'll be quite the advertising there. I mean, everyone's going all out to listen to this, so that'd be good to see. Okay, we recorded on Friday, reaction to Jet Luchenko making the team and a few guys others being on waivers. So go back and listen to that if you want to hear on that. This is primarily just going to be season predictions. Flyers middle of the playoffs, team points, leading scorers, goalie stuff, team awards. So yeah, let's just get right into it here. Joe, we'll kick it off with simple. How many points will the Flyers get, and where will they finish in the division?
How many did they have last year?
Last year they had 87 points and finished 6th in the division.
6th. I think they get about that. I'd say like 88, 86, 88.
About that.
And I think they finished 7th in the Metro.
Oh, I was hoping that, because I remember last season whenever we did like our weekly predictions, we were all both very positive about things and optimistic. So I was worried that was going to be the case here, but you're coming 7th right out of the gate.
And it's not even their own fault. Like, I'm not blaming the Flyers for missing the playoffs. The problem is that the Devils looked real fucking good in their first 2 games. Mm-hmm. Buffalo, they curb stomped Buffalo, but Buffalo didn't look like super underwater. They might still get it together. Ottawa, maybe they've got something coming together. Detroit was right on the cusp last year. They finished higher than the Flyers. Like, the Capitals made the playoffs and then got technically better this offseason. Like, I think P.L. Dubois, for all his problems, he's an improvement over Evgeny Kuznetsov at that in the center position. And then Charlie Lindgren stole the net from Darcy Kemper. Like, and they've got Alex Ovechkin, but whatever. Yeah. Forget. Don't need to mention that. And then the Islanders made the playoffs. They have a new coach in Patrick Waugh, who seems to really have them playing a different kind of style of hockey, a little bit faster. So I don't know. I think the Metro is top heavy. Like, it's the Canes, the Rangers, and maybe the Devils. Like, that's your clear cut top 3.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of middle ground from there to Columbus. And then Columbus is, well, they're Columbus, but the Atlantic is really deep. So it looks like it's going to be 5 from the Atlantic and 3 from the Metro.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm going to go a bit higher. Got 87 points last year. Flyers did improve in the offseason, getting Michkov in there for Atkinson.
True.
Even if that's the only change, that should help the power play and whatnot. We'll get into that. I'm going 90 points.
Okay.
4th in the Metro. But like you said, I don't know if that makes the playoffs, because the Atlantic could easily have 5 teams. I mean, they should have 4 shoe-ins: Panthers, Bruins, Leafs, Lightning. All had 98 plus points last year. Red Wings had 91 points. Sabres should be better. Devin Levi looked good on Saturday, but we'll never know what happens there. Sen should be better. Canadians should be better. Like the Atlantic's very deep. And with the Metro, like you said, yeah, you have those top three: Rangers, Hurricanes, Devils. You're not getting better than them unless they have horrible injuries like the Devils did last year. And then it's that mushy middle of the Islanders, who I think with Patrick Roy had like 100-point pace in the second half of the season. Sorokin's back taking shots now after offseason surgery. Varley has good chemistry there with Patrick Roy. They're a fucking annoying team to play against no matter what. Capitals did get better. Yeah, Capitals, PL Dubois is going to be a decent second line center. Jacob Chikrin is fine with all his weird stuff, eating raw meat and whatever else he does out there.
He's a second pair guy in the Capital system, which is pretty much what he was always going to be anyway.
Well,
I think.
Faceoff has him playing top pair with Carlson, which I guess
really
could be good. Yeah, I mean, Ovi's there. They got Mangiapane in there. Tom Wilson's still there, wreaking havoc.
Connor McMichael could take another step, and so could Hendrix Lapierre. I think those are their two of their rookies that have showed some promise.
Yeah, and you mentioned Charlie Lindgren. I mean, they got Logan Thompson too. That's a really good 1-2 tandem there that either of them could take over the net. So
I think it'll be more of a tandem. I don't think Lindgren's going to be like a 60-game starter, but that's good enough.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the Penguins are still the Penguins. They can have a good
year. I forgot about the Penguins.
Yeah. I mean, Penguins had one more point than the Flyers last year. I mean, Crosby, Malkin's back. Carlson's healthy. Letang's there. Tristan Jarry's still pretty good. Like they could make the playoffs too. So it's going to be tough in the Metro. It's just the Blue Jackets that are going to be in the basement, and then the Flyers fighting with those four teams in the mushy middle of the Metropolitan Division.
Yeah. Like they could finish 7th in the Metro and still draft 11th because like the East is going to be that close, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tight race, and you can bet on that at Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here. All right, so we're similar-ish on the Flyers as a whole. We think upper 80s to up to 90 points. Playoffs are dependent on the teams around them, obviously.
Exactly. Like I don't think they're going to be worse than last year. Maybe in the standings, like we said, they will look worse, but as a team, like functionally, they will be about the same and maybe a little better with Michkov. So, that's just the way it crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, we'll see if they visually look better, and that's a good segue here into their special teams. Their power play was awful last year, 12.2%. Penalty kill was great, 83.4%. League averages, just for the record, last year, power play 20.98% and penalty kill 79.02%. So above average on the penalty kill, way below average on the power play. What do we think that power play percentage gets to this season? I'll take this one first since you did the points. The year before last, they had 15.6%, 19.2 back in the 2020-21 season, and then 12.6 in the 2021-2022. I want to see that get up to, ideally 20%. Like it should be able to get up to 20%. I saw Kevin Kurtz wrote something today about how the Flyers are going to look for shots from high danger areas. They're going to keep units together to build chemistry. And they have Matvei Michkov, who we've seen him already in the preseason. We've seen them possibly make more beautiful plays on the power play in the preseason than we saw all of last season.
Yeah.
Having Michkov there, Drysdale, they're going to put Frost in front, they said, Konechny, Tippett. Like they have 2 units that could be good. So I want to say like 17, 18%, ideally get to 20, but I think more in that 18% range would probably be the number I'm looking for.
So a legally adult power play percentage.
A Jet Luchenko power play.
A Jet Luchenko power
just barely above 17.
Just barely. That feels idealistic. I'm thinking it's more like 15 to 16%. Like 15.5, 16.5 at the most.
All right. I'm looking up now. It is worth noting that the Flyers had a 12.2% Then the next worst was the Blue Jackets at 15.1%. So the Flyers were like historically bad.
Yeah.
Like even like the bottom third, the Golden Knights with the 20th best were at 20.2%.
Yeah.
18% the Blues, 24th. Like that's still bad. So like I don't think I'm shooting too highly, but given what we've seen over the past decade, the Flyers haven't had a good power play since Scott Hartnell was here with Wayne Simmons in front. Like it's been a while.
Been a while, yeah. I think the worst power play of like the Cap era was the Ducks 2 seasons ago, and they had like an 11% power play or something absolutely just abysmal. But yeah,
I can look it up. Yeah, it was 8 point since the most recent lockout in 2012. Yeah, in the shortened COVID season 2020, 2021, 8.9%. Panthers 10% back in 2013-14. Red Wings 11.4 in that same season as the Ducks. And then the Flyers at 12.2 and the Flyers at 12.6. They've had two of the worst power plays in the entire league over the past 11 seasons.
Away, boys. You know who was quarterbacking that power play for Anaheim?
That wasn't Jamie Drysdale, was it?
It was. I think it was.
He was healthy. That's it. Was it that? Was that one healthy season he had?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't. No, no. He played 24 games that year. He had one power play assist in those 24.
Okay.
Games, so,
I mean, he was drafted in 2020, so that would have been like.
Mm-hmm.
He would have just been 18 as well.
Yeah. So
he'll be fine. He'll be great. Him and Michkov are going to improve the power play this season. I just don't think it's like a 5% improvement would put them at 17%. That's an enormous step up, and it's still one of the worst in the league. Like I don't think it's going to be that dramatic of an improvement. I'm hoping for like 16%.
Yeah, that would still be like bottom 5 in the league. I'm trying to see how many power. So last year they had 254 power play opportunities and 31 goals. So if they get 10 more goals, let's say 41 goals on 254 opportunities is still 16.1%. So yeah, getting up to 18 or 20 would take a lot, but
yeah,
they have the personnel now. Drysdale looks healthy, Michkov looks great. So it's just about putting it together, and we have to see it before we believe it.
Sure, and it looks like they've changed their approach a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've talked about it. Some of the passing plays that they have been making in these preseason games look like they remind me of like, you know, point to Kucherov to Stamkos. Like they are just that snap, 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 puck in the net, like or at least on net. Like it's just. It happens so fast. The puck is just tape to tape to tape, and then it's either in the goalie's like body or glove, or it's in the net. And we haven't seen that on a Flyers team in a really long time. So that is exciting to see. And if they can like actually put it in the net when they do that, we might have a spicy little power play here. As long as it doesn't come at the expense of the PK. Like the power kill is like crucial to this team's identity. And if that falls apart, what is this team? So,
yeah, fantastic segue there. Last year they had an 83.4% on the penalty kill. I think that was close to the top of the league over the past 10 seasons. That's in the top 60.
Yeah.
Let me look at just last season where they were at. It was number four on the behind the Canes, Kings, Rangers, and then them right there. So
it was even better for like the first 2/3 of the season. Then when like Sean Walker traded and all the defensemen were hurt, it kind of fell off the rails. But for a lot of the year, they were like, I think the second best penalty kill unit in the league. So, you know, if they can keep that in the top 5, I don't really think there's any reason for them to lose that top 5 unless they trade away like some of their key penalty killers. But who would they trade? Top unit, I guess Scott Lawton maybe, but the top unit is Lawton, Konechny, Sanheim, and York, I think. And then the secondary unit is Hathaway, Paling, Risto
Sealer, maybe?
Risto Sealer, that sounds about right. Yeah. And I don't think any of those, maybe Risto gets traded, but if he gets traded, then I guess you just put like Zamula or
Eric Johnson
or Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
Sure. So I don't think the penalty kill is going to go. It should probably be about the same. I'd say it's going to be over 80%. It'll still be top 5.
Yeah, I agree. It should be still up there. 80% is probably a good number to look for. Last year, Flyers led the league with 16 shorthanded goals, including 6 by Travis Konechny to lead the league. So they were tied with the Canes for the best shorthanded goal differential of -24, which is fairly impressive there for the Flyers. Penalty kill was definitely, as you said, better in the first 2/3 of the year before Urson and the rest of the team just completely wore down. So I think, if we have a better goalie rotation, you have hopefully 3 penalty call units you can rely upon. Because I think Atkinson played the PK a little bit last year, but also like you guys can go on there. You can go Forster. I know he's not like very fast, but he's good defensively with the stick. Joel Farabee was out there killing penalties a little bit. Jet Luchenko while he's playing. Noah Cates is very defensive. So they have these guys that can fill in if they have to.
I mean, that's the thing, right? They have so many guys that they want to see on the penalty kill, but they just don't have a spot for them. I know Brad Shaw, like at the end of not this past season, but I think last year was like, I want to see Owen Tippett on the penalty kill because he's fast. He can execute that breakout once they've got control of the puck in the defensive zone. Tyson Forrester, I would love to see him on the penalty kill. He had 1 penalty kill shift last season, and he took 1 shot on goal, and it went in the net. He has a 100% shooting percentage shorthanded, and which, that'd be great. Jet Luchenko, when he's fully ready to make the team, he's got that speed. He'll be great on the penalty kill.
Yeah. And we're just glossing over Sean Couturier, who is a Selke winning center in his day. Like, so if he is even remotely healthy, close to 100%, he can dominate there too. Because I'm pretty sure he's good on faceoff. So yeah, him maybe put him and Forster, him and Farabee together, and keep Hathaway. I was going to call him Pathaway, the Paling Hathaway, Pathaway there, and then
Pathaway,
and Pathaway, and then the Lawton Konechny connection there up top. So hopefully the penalty kill is good. That was definitely one of their strong suits last year. Would be ideal to get it up above 80% again.
It's a good problem to have. Too many good personnel for a penalty kill unit. If anyone is injured or gets traded, they have the guys to fill in and still be elite, because that's what it is. That is an elite penalty kill. So way to go, Flyers.
Yeah, and one of the key parts of the penalty kill, you could argue the key part, is the goaltending, which is going to be obviously a huge storyline in Philadelphia once again this season. League average save percentage has been going down quite a bit over the years. Was back in the late 2010s, 912, 910. Now it's going to 908, 907, 904, all the way down to 903 last year. Like, it used to be 900 was okay, and now like 900 is becoming average. So last year, Flyers team save percentage was 889, second worst in the league, only to the Ottawa Senators. A lot of that had to do with Sam Ersson playing way too many games than he had to. 890. Carter Hart 906. Cal Peterson in 5 games 864. Felix Sandstrom in 5 games 3 starts 823. Then Ivan Fedotov in 3 games 1 start 811. So that really it cratered at the end of the season, because like Ersson was one of the best goalies November to January. So what are we expecting for the goaltending this season? What would you like to see that save percentage at? What do you think it can be at?
So do you think, just like as a more philosophical thing, do you think goaltending save percentage is going down because goalies are getting worse, or because shooters are getting better?
Shooters are getting better. Offenses are getting better. More better offensive schemes. Like, all the technology of the sticks and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to see a team save percentage of like 905. I'd be happy with that. That would be awesome. If Ersson, but if it's 905 because Ersson's doing like 940 all season, and then Fedotov is doing like 880, then maybe we have a bit of a problem. But in one case though, Sam Ersson will be the truth. I already think he looks fucking phenomenal in these preseason games. A shutout and then a really good game against Boston that they lost because the team in front of them didn't have their legs.
Yeah. So before last year's 889, they had a 900 the year before that, a 903 the year before that. So that's pretty much where the Flyers have been over the past several years, just above the 900 mark. And like getting to 900 may have made the playoffs last year, saving 10 more shots of 1,000 shots that may have won an extra game, got an extra few points here and there. It may have been the difference. So yeah, Sam Ersson has looked great in the preseasons. He had that shutout against the Islanders. Where Erik Johnson had the goal and then Michkov had the empty net goal. He had a great game, like you said, against Boston, peppered a bunch. That's one thing. Yeah, the one thing the Flyers have to do better as a team in general is better starts to games, better starts to periods. That was every preseason game was like, okay, I missed the first 10 minutes of the game. What happened? Well, the Flyers looks like shit. All right, hopefully they get better now. Like that's a problem they have to solve. I don't know if that's due to not having Torts behind the bench and getting fired up. I don't know if that's just due to maybe not getting the same adrenaline as you would for a regular season game, because these professionals, these veterans probably don't get amped up as much as they do for the regular season. So hopefully that's something.
They could have just been gassed. I mean, it was a Torts camp, right?
Yeah.
Like they did the bag skate and then, had to do a bunch of drills and stuff. So I would understand if they were just gassed. So I expect them to come back better when the season starts up.
Gonna move this question up. We had it lower in the outline here. How do you think the goaltending split is going to be this season? How many starts for Ersson? How many for Fedotov? How many for Kolosov? And God forbid, how many for Cal Peterson?
Well, I think Torts mentioned something about wanting to get Ersson like 50-55 starts or something. So I'd say that's how many Ersson's going to get. 50 to 55, barring injury. And then Fedotov would probably get like 20 to 25. And then Kolosov might pick up the rest. And if things are real bad, maybe Cal Peterson gets one. But or Makanyemi. Makanyemi might get one if he shows he's playing very well. So I think it's going to be the bulk. Ersson is the starter going into the season, the same as Carter Hart was the starter last season. And then Ersson played his way into a tandem before becoming the starter. I think the same thing is here this year. Ersson's the starter unless Fedotov can play his way into a larger role. Same goes for Kolosov, but I would not put money on Kolosov taking the starter's position anytime soon.
No, I think so. Like a 50-20-10 split you kind of have there with a few give or take.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a bit too idealistic from Torts, wanting to get 50 to 55 games out of Ersson. Last year he played in 51, 49 starts. Prior to that, the year before, he played 54 total, 12 for the Flyers, 42 for the Phantoms. But like before that, coming up in the SHL, topped out at 42. Like I would like to see Ersson get 40 starts, Fedotov 25, Kolosov 15, something like that. But I don't know how they're going to mix Ersson in. I think that's one, or no, that Kolosov in. I think that's one of the big questions. Like, will he get some time if there's not an injury? Like, will they be playing it extra safe with the goalies, where if they kind of pull something and they could play, maybe they'll sit him down for a few games and call up Kolosov. I think that's kind of one of the big questions is, how does Kolosov look in the AHL? I saw a few highlights from the preseason game on Saturday. I saw he stopped the breakaway. So, maybe he looks good and Fedotov falters a bit and he gets called up. But I think 40 is a good number for Ersson. If he earns more and can start 50 and is good in 50 games, wonderful. But
only one way to find out.
But as long as they can spread them out, if they can spread them out more and not be so heavy loaded towards either the front or the back or whatever, spread them out. Get Fedotov in there every so often, get Kolosov in there. I think 40 to 45 is a good number for Ersson.
I would agree. I think it's going to be higher. I think they're going to try and get him 50, because if they're as high on this guy as we seem to think they are, they want him to be maybe not a full-fledged starter in the mold of Connor Hellebuck, but like a 1A that's playing like 55 games a year. As for Kolosov, he's got a lot of ground to make up. He missed a lot of camp. He's going to have to be lights out in the AHL. I wouldn't expect him to be called up until the new year at the earliest, unless there's like a rash of goalie injuries, you know.
And what was the deal with the KHL loan thing? Like Friedman reported it, but didn't Charlie like say he heard from his agent? Like
Yeah,
there was no
that
truth to that.
baseless rumors.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there is like a handshake agreement behind closed doors. Who the fuck knows? I don't really care. Like,
yeah. No, sorry, we've talked way too much about Kolosov over the past.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about Kolosov anymore. Like
yeah.
the long and short of it is, if he's not that important, he's not that big of a deal, and we should not be spending this much time on him. Anyway, team awards.
Team award, yes, another tangible thing that is awarded at the end of the season. So it's not just like being like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. Let's start with the team MVP, the Bobby Clark Trophy, given to the most valuable player. Last year, it was given to Travis Konechny. They've had 4 different MVPs over the past 4 years. Konechny, Hart, Cam Atkinson the year before that. Previously, Sean Couturier had won 3 straight. For that, do we think Konechny gets it again? I think he probably is the favorite. Like anything besides that would be a hot take. Which watch out for a hot takes. We're going to be throwing in some spicy in there, some peppers, whatnot. So, but yeah, I think it's Konechny, like hands down.
Yeah, I think he goes back to back easy. The only player, I mean, if Michkov is this good all year and plays like 82 games, maybe he pushes for it. I think Owen Tippett is poised for a monster season, just a huge season. So I could see him running for it. And on the defense, I'm still a big believer in Cam York. I could see him maybe finally it all clicks and it all comes together and he has a big season. Which would be a problem because it's a contract year for him. So then they'd have to pay him a lot of money. But, if you have to pay a guy a lot of money because he's really good, that's a good problem to have. So
yeah, and I think Sam Ersson is kind of a dark horse there, where if he is starting 50 games and they make the playoffs and his save percentage is 905, 910, I think that's something where he could take that, especially if the Flyers' offense is spread around with Konechny, with Tippett, with Farabee, with Michkov. Like there's a bunch of guys where it could be spread around, and like Konechny doesn't have a 15-point lead over Tippett in points like he did last year. So, but Konechny clearly the favorite for the team MVP, and that's who we both predict there. Also the Toyota Cup, which is just basically the 3 stars of the game. You get 3 points for the first star, 2 points for the second, 1 point for the third.
I'd never seen this award. I did not know it existed until I saw it on the sheet.
Toyota Cup. Come on. Travis Konechny got it last year. Carter Hart 2 years before that. Claude Giroux the year before that. Travis Konechny again in the 2019-20 season. So very similar to team MVP. I think it has to be Konechny, but Michkov could get some love there. But
I think Ersson might be able to lock that one up, just because like the goalies have such an outsized impact on the outcome of a game that he might get a bunch of like 3rd star of the nights.
5 points are awarded for the first star, 3 for the second star, and 1 for the third.
Oh, so maybe he gets a lot of 2nd and 3rd star stuff, just like consistently, and then Konechny gets a handful of like 1st star, So we'll see.
And then going down to the defenseman, the Barry Ashby Trophy for the most outstanding defenseman. Last year, it was Travis Sanheim winning it for the second time in his career. Previously, it was Ivan Provorov, kind of Sanheim sandwiched around him. I don't think it's going to be Sanheim. I really don't. I think it's either going to be Cam York, like you just said, potentially in the running for the MVP, or Jamie Drysdale. I don't know what he would have to do because he's going to be playing second pair most likely. York and Sanheim are going to eat those minutes. They both averaged 23, 22 minutes last year. Jamie Drysdale wasn't very healthy last year, but still averaged here. I can't find it. 1848. So he's healthy. He's looking good. I could see him as a contender there, but I think I don't know. Travis Sanheim, think he has another good year?
I think he has another good year. I don't know, man. if Erik Johnson keeps up this like goal game scoring rate that they've got
What
right
about Rist Goalainen too?
Rasmus Rist-Goalainen. Nick Seeler, I think we're joking about it, but I feel like Nick Seeler is the dark horse candidate that would actually be able to pull it off. But no, I think it's going to be either York. I think it's going to be York because the next trophy we have listed, I think that one's going to Drysdale.
Yeah, York and Sanheim are definitely the two up there. I'll take Sanheim. You got York. I'll take Sanheim for this York. One. And then next trophy is the Pelle Lindbergh Memorial Trophy for the most improved player. It was Cam York last year. That was my pick as well for it. Jamie Drysdale, I think
it's Drysdale.
Definitely do that. I think it's looking at the forwards. I'm not quite sure who could take that one. Maybe Morgan Frost if he gets enough time with Matvei Michkov there.
Or only Bobby Brink.
Oh, I love that. I love that Bobby Brink mention, Joe. You know, that's my boy right there.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. Morgan Frost, 41 points last year. If he gets up to, can he be a 60-point player if he's playing with Michkov in top power play unit? If he gets up there, maybe he gets some love there. But I think they're going to want to give Drysdale something, and we're both expecting big things for Drysdale. You wrote the article on broadsthockey.com earlier in the summer, I think. Read and subscribe there about how he is kind of pivotal to the rebuild, and yeah, he's getting a lot of love here in the preseason. So would not be shocked to see that continue into the season.
Yep. Because then next year for him is a contract year as well, I believe. So it'd be good for him to go into the off season with like, oh, they like me. They want me to stay here. So
yeah, definitely be good there. Moving down to the Yannick Dupree class guy. Nick Seeler won this award last year. I think Scott Lauden's got it a bunch. Justin Braun won it. Cam Atkinson, JVR.
Justin Braun mention. Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think Seeler gets it again. Would they give it to
what's it for?
What is this?
What is this award for?
It is
like just being an upstanding kind of dude.
It's a flyer with character, dignity, and respect on and off the ice, as voted by the PHWA.
Oh, the writers vote on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Looking back on it, it looks like no one wins it twice. No one
Garnet
has won
Hathaway.
It.
Then I'm gonna say Garnet Hathaway.
That's a good dart there because he's gonna be playing a lot. He's not gonna be producing. He's gonna be underrated. I think he's good with the media.
He's gonna stick up for the youths.
That's a good one there.
He just had a kid. His third kid.
Just have a kid. I saw Claude Giroux just had a kid as well. Charlie is Claude Giroux is now Charlie's dad. So we can put that
Wait, is Claude had a kid named Charlie?
His wife posted it on Instagram earlier today.
Cool. Congrats,
Hathaway is a good call there. Could Erik Johnson get it? Would he be Erik Johnson? I'm gonna go Ryan Poehling. I think Ryan Poehling deserves something out there. I think he's one of the most underrated, not one of the most underrated players on the team, but like under the radar for what he does. Overlooked for he's out there, doesn't make mistakes too often, pushes the play forward. So he's kind of that type of player there.
My only thing about Erik Johnson is I don't think he's going to play enough games to actually be like brought into consideration for that. So I'll stick with Hathaway. I think that's a winning selection.
All right. And then finally the Gene Hart Memorial Award, which is the Flyer who demonstrates the most heart, as voted by the Flyers fan club. So who do the fans like? Who are the fans going to like this season?
Michkov.
Could be Michkov. It could very well be Michkov.
Who won last year?
Last year was Sam Ersson.
Oh.
Which is surprising to me.
Good for him.
Oh, here are the past 5 winners. Ersson, Carter Hart, Blank, Sean Couturier, and Kevin Hayes. Who do you think won it in the 2021-22 season?
Oh, wow.
It's a guy you might forget about. He's
not here.
He had a fight the other night in a Canadian game.
Oh, fuck. Delorier?
No, not Delorier. He's not here anymore.
Oh.
I think he got his ass beat in this fight by Xhekaj, I think last night.
Oh.
Scored a breakaway goal against the Flyers last year.
Shit.
Has nice long hair.
Zach McEwen.
There you go.
Oh, my boy. Bring him home.
So yeah, you can't really predict who's going to win this. It's usually a bottom six, or I guess Paling might be a good guess for this one, but I don't think he really has.
It's 𝙏𝙏𝙎𝙎, dude. It's gonna be 𝙏𝙏𝙎𝙎.
He'll get a fight or two against Matt Rempe, and he'll lock it up there.
Well, next year is the last season of his contract, so maybe going into the summer they'll be like, "Here's the award. We're buying you out of the last year of your contract."
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully they can trade him there.
No, my actual prediction for that,
maybe TK. TK hasn't gotten it in his career.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Sean Couturier has won it 3 times. Scott Laughton is Scott Laughton kind of has the love affair with Scott Laughton for casual
Faded.
Flyers fans fading though.
Maybe it has. Maybe it has. God, maybe it is Hathaway again.
Well, he hasn't won it yet. Or you're saying because you picked him for
I predicted him for the Yannick Dupree. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see the fans like Gary needs to have, more of an offensive season this year. Last year only had 17 points. I mean, his career high is only 26. So
yeah, he's not a scorer.
No.
And if they come shorthanded, then like I don't care. Get those shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
I think he only had 1 last year though, so whatever.
Right. That's enough time on these awards.
Flyers stuff,
yeah. Getting back, well, we're sticking with the Flyers here, but getting into the goal scorers, get into the points here. Let's go top goal scorer, top 3. Give them to me.
Boy.
Last year had Konechny 33, Tippett 28, Farabee 22, and then Forster 20. We're the top 4 here.
Mm-hmm.
I could very well see Konechny, Tippett, Michkov being those top 3 again. Forster could maybe go off for a bit. What do you think?
I mean, Forster was scoring at like a 40-goal pace over the second half of last season, so I wouldn't be surprised. I think Konechny still tops out. I think he's still going to get the first spot.
How many do you think he gets? Think he gets 40? Can he get 40?
So this leads into my super spicy, super hot take.
Ooh.
I think Travis Konechny, he might not get there, but I think this season he's going to pace for a 100-point season. I don't think he's going to play all 82 games, so he's not going to get there. But I think he's going to play like 72, 75 games and come real close.
That is spicy because his highest pace is just over 82. He's been a point per game player once in his career, and that was the season prior to last when he had 61 points in 60 games.
And he was real close to it this year. He was real close to being a point per game this year.
Well, so 68 and 76. It's close.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I think a functional power play and his continued even strength dominance, because I wrote about it for Broad Street Hockey, subscribe and read, that he was just elite at 5-on-5 offensive generation. They just weren't going in the net. Mm-hmm. If they start going in the net, I could see him having just enormous monster season.
I like it, especially if he's playing with Michkov a bit, because like
what I'm saying,
Michkov apparently told Torch like wherever I'm playing doesn't matter left wing, right wing. So if he can play on the left with Konechny on the right, Couturier in the middle, that's a good line right there.
That's a good fucking line, man.
Yeah.
It's a good hockey team. So I'm thinking 40 goals is pretty doable. And we forget, like we're always like, oh, Travis Konechny's a goal scorer. He's a really good setup guy too. Like he's a really good assist driver, and not just like garbage assists. I'm talking like primary assists. He's let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago when he kind of had his breakout year as a passer when he was playing on that top line with Couturier and Giroux. Like he's been. Yeah, but I agree with you. Konechny, top goal scorer. I think he can get 40, especially if he plays with Michkov. Get a power play. We got Dave Harris in the chat here. I got Michkov for 70 plus this year. I'm assuming that means points, but I mean, I'll take 70 goals from Michkov as well.
Hey, Austin Matthews couldn't do it last season, so someone's got to do it.
He's no Matvei Michkov. I'll tell you that much.
You know who actually is like an Austin Matthews on the Flyers from an offensive generation standpoint?
Who?
It's Owen Tippett.
It is Owen Tippett.
Owen Tippett. No, I like you think I'm joking, but if you go look at the the like all three zones data, he's right there with Austin Matthews in some of his 5-on-5 offensive generation, and you're just like, huh, that's funny. Why is that? Why is it that Owen Tippett doesn't have the points? And it's because none of his shots hit the net. Austin Matthews hits the net. So I think Owen Tippett has the opportunity to have a really big season, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, Tippett takes a lot of shots. He only shot 9.7 last year, which I thought would be low. His career shooting percentage is 9.7. He shot 11.7 the year before, so maybe he gets up a little bit, but
well, last season he turned himself into a volume shooter instead of just like trying to pick his spots. So his shooting percentage the season prior was a little better because he was more picky about his shots. But then last year he was like, oh, 10 shots a game. Sure, why not? Like he was just ripping. So yeah. But
so do you have him second behind Konechny?
Tippett, I think
he's had 27 and 28 the past 2 years. I think he gets to 30. I think we can get Konechny to 40, get Tippett to 30.
And I think Forrester might be the third.
I think Forrester's third. I was gonna say Farabee had 22 last year, and that was like a down year for him.
My spicy hot take was that last year Farabee was going to score 30. He didn't get there. I think he's going to do it this year. I think we're just going to have a bunch of whatchamacallit, 30 goal scorers this year. Like they're all going to break 30.
Yeah, well, my next question was how many 20-plus goal scorers will the Flyers have this year? Last year they had 4 with Konechny, Tippett, Farabee, Forster. I think they all get there. Michkov gets there. Frost can get there.
And I think Brink might be able to do it if he gets the games and the usage. But that's a bigger ask.
I would be happy with 6. I'd be happy with 5. They had 4 last year. They should get 5 with Michkov. So yeah, I think 6 is a good goal. 5 is probably a good prediction.
Yep. Does that mirror then the top 3 point scorers, do you think?
I could see Michkov getting more points than Tippett. I could see Michkov ending up second, definitely third, if not second, behind Konechny, because some of these passes that he makes into the slot, there's no one there yet, but they're going to learn to go to the slot when Michkov has the puck, even if they think the pass is unavailable, because he'll make that pass. And power play should be better, as we talked about. So I think Michkov could get, last year Konechny led the team with 35 assists, 35 or 40, and then add that to the 25 goals, like 60 points. There we go.
60 assists. No, 60 assists for Travis Konechny because he's getting 100 this season.
There we go, 40 and 60.
So for the goal scorers, what did I say? Konechny, Tippett, Forrester, I think I said. For points, I think it will be Konechny, Michkov, Tippett.
Yeah,
I think I'll go with that.
I agree with that. My only changes are goals. I'm going Konechny, Tippett, Michkov. I think Michkov gets there third. I think they have a bunch of guys that score 20. I think they have a bunch of guys that score 10. They had 12 guys score 10 goals last year, including Cam Atkinson. So Michkov replaces Atkinson. I could see Drysdale maybe getting 10 if he gets some power play time. Brink had 11 last year, so he'll repeat. Hathaway had 7. I don't think he can get up there, but yeah, another dozen 10 goal scorers would be nice to see.
Would be great. Goals for everybody.
Yes. And then Matvei Michkov. We just talked about him a little bit, but him specifically here, points, assists, goals. What are we? I think it's very different to separate what we want and are hoping for and what like our expectations are. Because like his point total was set at 46.5. And now it's up to 48.5 and like 52.5 some places. So I think 50 is a good number to look for. But I was thinking about this earlier today. Like I forget who at Broad Street Hockey did the comparison to other. I think Quigley did it. Quigley did the comparing Michkov to other like top Russian superstars that came over from the KHL. I don't think Michkov has a comparison. I really don't, because people were expecting him to come over and be like a big goal scorer, and he's already surprised people with his passing and his playmaking, like, and he can shoot and he can make things happen by himself. Like, I think there's a comparison out there. Maybe it's Kucherov, whatever, Kaprizov, but I think he's someone that can come over and surprise and really surpass that 50-point mark.
Yeah, I'm saying 25 goals. 25 goals for Michkov. 35 assists.
That's probably about where I'm at. Yeah, I think 60 points is a good number to hope for and to look for. Not expect. You're not expecting that. I know the Fly Guys did an episode where they're setting expectations for people, so you guys can go listen to that. There's a good listen there. Yeah, I think 25-35 would be a successful season for Michkov.
That would be a
very
dynamic.
successful.
That would be more than Bedard had in his rookie season. So
yeah, well, Bedard didn't have line mates. Is kind of the issue as well.
And he missed like 8 weeks with an injury. I think Michkov's gonna.
He had 22 and 39. He had 61 points in 68 games. So
I think Michkov is going to miss some time as well. So I don't know how many games
with an injury
20,
or
injury.
when or if will he be healthy scratch, Joe? This is the hot topic on Twitter. Here's my hot take.
Oh,
he will not be healthy scratch this season.
Ooh.
Maybe he'll be scratched if he's nursing an injury or it's a back-to-back and he got banged up, but I don't think he'll be healthy scratched at the very least this calendar year or this season at all. That's my hot take.
Okay.
It's very spicy given how Tortorella has handled rookies in the past, but this is not a typical rookie. This is the guy they're going to develop on the ice.
I think it's going to be the Disney on Ice trip.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a healthy scratch.
It's always Disney on Ice trip.
Didn't they sweep that like a year or two ago when it didn't matter? Ugh, it's the worst. But
yeah,
I think he's going to get healthy scratched in one of the Disney on Ice trips. It's not going to be a home game. We know that much, but
they don't play in his hometown, so Torts can't pull one of those off.
Nope.
No.
But I mean, like in Philly, because people are going to be paying to see him, and I don't think Torts. I think Torts is, kind of crazy, but he's not stupid enough to scratch your star player, your star rookie at a home game that people are specifically coming to see him play.
I could see it. He's like, I'm putting the best team on the ice for my hockey club. I'm trying to win the hockey game. I don't think this guy gives us the best chance to win.
I say it's the Disney on Ice. That's what I'm going to go with.
I'll take that. 2 months into the season until he gets healthy scratched or scratched for, whatever reasons, or has some sort of tiff, or people get pissed off at Torts for not playing him. I think I'll take that. Take 2 months.
Yep. And speaking of Michkov, why don't we take a bigger picture? Look at the bigger picture here and look at the league awards. And do we think he's going to get the Calder? Do we think he's going to be the first Flyer to win a Calder?
I really think he is. He's the favorite. He's not like a massive favorite. Him, Celebrini, Cutter's up there, Stankoven, Lane Hudson's getting some steam.
Maverick Burke way down the charts.
Yeah, and like Dustin Wolf. I mean, goalies rarely win it, but if the Flames make the playoffs, then he's great.
Yep.
But I just think Michkov has the best opportunity here out of those guys. He'll have the best line mates. If Stankoven was playing higher in the Stars lineup, I would give him the edge. But right now, I think he's on the third line. Might not be on top. Yeah, for now. But Michkov is coming in on the top line, on the top power play unit.
Yep.
He's going to be the guy in overtime, I think, too. Like he'll be on that top
Whoa,
unit, I hope.
Whoa. Really? You're going to put Michkov out there over Garnet Hathaway, Ryan Poehling?
That might be tough. That might be a tough decision there.
It's a tough call, man.
Yeah, I think Michkov gets the Calder. What about you?
Yeah, same. I don't think there's like Celebrini's already injured. Like if all the rookies are probably going to miss some amount of time. It's just who is more productive in their time that, yeah. I guess Celebrini's really the only major competition for him. And
I think Stankoven is competition. I think based off what we saw with last year with Brock Faber giving Bedard some sort of scare, I think Lane Hudson could too. He's already has a ton of hype in Montreal. If he puts up the points and the advanced numbers, because Brock Faber didn't have a ton of points last year, and that was kind of the knock against him. And Hudson, I don't think he's starting on the top power play unit, but he could easily usurp Mike Matheson and make some noise there.
I'm staying off the Lane Hudson train until Patrick Laine's back on that power play unit. Patrick Laine does one thing well, and it is put the puck in the net.
But still a decent unit there. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky in front. Yeah, it's fine.
Slavkovsky, oh baby, I'm excited to see him this season. I think he's going to be just out of this world good. But anyway,
Any spicy takes on other award winners this season? Hart Trophy is basically McDavid against McDavid gets it if he's healthy. McKinnon, Matthews. Kind of surprising. He is the fourth favorite, but Jack Hughes. I think Jack Hughes is definitely going to be a finalist. Last year, he had an amazing start. His odds dropped a bunch.
If he's healthy,
he's gonna.
Yeah.
That top line of the Devils with him, Timo Meier, and Jesper Bratt.
God damn, dude.
It's insane. It's an insane line. So
and then their second line is Nico Hischier, Dawson Mercer, and Andre Palat, I think.
Palat might be third line, but yeah, it's someone else really good. And their fourth line looks good. Stefan Nason and Paul Cotter, like
Tomas Tatar.
Tomas Tatar is up there. Yeah. So
they're real good, man.
Yeah, I think Dougie Jack Hughes has a real chance. Dougie Hamilton's back. Luke Hughes is missing time. He'll be back at some point though. So, and Markstrom has him, yeah.
And then Markstrom and net. Damn, dude, it's like shit. They're real good. Yeah. I don't really have a spicy take for the Hart. I think it's going to be one of the usual suspects.
Yeah,
maybe Kucherov could vie for it again if he has another monster season. Panarin could maybe be a dark horse choice. Someone on the Canucks.
Patterson, Miller,
maybe. Yeah, there's some dark horse candidates, but I think it's going to end up just being the same 3 or 4 guys that it always is.
Pasternak maybe in there.
Pasta, sure.
Yeah, it's very likely to be Connor McDavid because if he stays healthy, he should be. He's the best player in the world for a reason.
Yeah.
Norris Trophy, kind of a similar thing. You got Makar as the favorite. Quinn Hughes, Fox, Bouchard, Yossi, Heiskanen.
Oh boy. Boy, I'm real high on Heiskanen, but I don't know if he's going to get the points to really seal the deal. Bouchard is going to get the points because he plays on one of the best power plays.
Yeah.
I think it might be Roman Yossi because the Preds are really stacked right now, and if they make good on all of these additions they've had, he's going to look real damn good.
Yeah, that top power play unit is Forsberg, O'Reilly, Marchessault, Stamkos, and Roman Yossi.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's good.
That's an embarrassment of riches, man. That's so good.
Yeah, I think Yossi's he's not a long shot, but he's decent dark horse a little bit there. Makar is the favorite. It's just tough to beat Makar or Hughes. I think Makar is just.
I don't think Quinn Hughes is going to do this again. I don't think he's going to be in the conversation again. I think he's going to be good this year, but I don't think he's even going to be a top 3 finalist.
Yeah, I think last year he had a bunch of goals. It was way more than his other year. Last year he had 17 goals. He had 15 in the 2 years prior. So won't get that shooting luck probably.
Probably not. But hey, the assists were still there, so he'll still put up a lot of points. So that's that. What's the other big one?
The Vezina.
The Vezina. Oh, Sam Ersson. No. If he gets to the playoffs with a .925 save percentage, then maybe.
Yeah. I kind of have a spicy take for this one. I like Vasilevsky here. I think, last year he was injured coming off back surgery. He's still I think he's still 29, which is a lot younger than I thought he was. He's 30, just turned 30 in July. He's won it once, was a finalist another time. Save percentage was way down last year at 900. Career save percentage is 917. So I could see him doing that, but I just don't know if the Lightning will get enough wins for him.
Yeah, I feel Jeremy Swayman just signed his contract with Boston today, so I feel like he's got a good shot because he is now the starter. So he's going to get the starts that he needs to make a run for a Vezina. I also think Markstrom is in a really good situation in New Jersey where they're going to make him look good. They're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And the same kind of goes for Stuart Skinner in Edmonton. I'm much lower on Stuart Skinner. I don't know if he's going to be able to be. He was really good after they fired Woodcroft last year, but I don't know if that was a coaching thing or if that was just goalie's going to goalie. But Edmonton is a powerhouse team, and they are going to make their goaltender look good.
Yeah, I mean their defense maybe might look good, but I mean he'll get a lot of wins there, which is a lot of the voters look at. But also contract year for Igor Shesterkin, who's
Oh
had kind
yeah.
of 2 quote unquote down years for him. He won it 3 years ago with a 935, 916 2 years ago, 912 last year. He's asking for a big contract. He deserves a big contract, so I could see him putting up a big year, and he's the rightful favorite for the Vezina.
Yep, I'd forgotten about Shesterkin. I guess I'm gonna go with Markstrom just to be a contrarian and say that
Okay,
Markstrom's gonna get it.
you're a big Devils fan here. I didn't realize.
It's so annoying that they are so fun to watch. Like watching a Devils game is just like an adrenaline shot to your system. It's so fun, and I'm sitting there watching the Devils play hockey, and I'm like, damn it, why can't this be us?
It's a complete turnaround from what Flyers Devils games usually are. 2-1, 1-0, just fucking slog fest. So
Not
maybe we'll
anymore.
see some more high paced games against them this year.
Yep.
Stanley Cup prediction.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that one. That counts. Boy, I picked the Stars last year and they burned me, but I'm doubling down. I'm saying it's the Stars again, baby. Let's go.
I'm going Stars over Devils. That's my prediction.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think the Devils are good, but they need some more playoff experience and some seasoning before lifting it all.
Stars over Rangers.
I don't want to see anyone in the Metro and then the Stanley Cup final. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that.
Hey, we just talked about Shesterkin. I mean, contract year, you take your team right up to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
they're going to throw a whole bunch of money at you, bud.
I mean, last year, these past playoffs were the playoffs of the goaltending and special teams, and that is kind of what carries the Rangers. So, I mean,
yep,
Peter Laviolette up there could be doing that again for him.
Tear your heart out of your chest.
All right, going to the opposite direction. Who do we think is going to be the worst 3 teams in the league with the opportunity to draft 𝙗𝙎𝙎𝙎? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think he's the front runner right now, 𝙗𝙎𝙎𝙎.
Yeah.
Boy,
I have Columbus at the bottom. I think this division is too good. Obviously, they had the tragic loss of Johnny Gaudreau. They already a bad team. Like that's just going to add to it. I think Columbus is down there. I think the Sharks are down there.
Anaheim. I think Anaheim's going to struggle again. I don't know if they're going to be bottom 3.
Yeah, Anaheim has a lot of good young players. That's the thing. Like they need a few years probably to piece it together, but I hate to say it, Cutter Gauthier has been looking good.
He looks real fucking good, doesn't he?
I've been seeing some highlights of him. And
him and Leo Carlson together are.
Yeah,
I think they've already connected for like 2 or 3 goals in the preseason. It's so annoying.
Mason McTavish is severely underrated. Trevor Zegras is gonna not be shit again. Like,
yep, they've got some exciting defensemen. Matvei Michkov, Ole Zellweger.
Yeah, and Captain Gudis there as well. Maybe take a step up. John Gibson's hurt for appendectomy, but Lucas Dostal was good last year. Yeah. Cal Klang, a good hockey name, as a backup there. So
what a name!
Yeah, I don't think they bottom 3.
His last name is the sound the puck makes when it goes off the bar. Clang.
What a good name for a goalie. It's like a great ice cream man named Cone.
What?
It's a Seinfeld quote, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I watched Seinfeld. I know some stuff. And then Chicago, of course, I think is also going to be in there.
I think Chicago's bottom 3 there.
But who's going to surprise you and miss the playoffs this season? There's only so many spots.
Yeah, there's only so many spots. I don't have any real hot takes for missing the playoffs. I think, in the East, it's going to go relatively as expected. Panthers, Bruins, Leafs, Lightning in the Atlantic, Rangers, Canes, Devils in the Metro. That leaves 1 spot, and like any of those teams missing it besides those teams wouldn't be too surprising. So maybe looking at the West to miss it, I could see the Kings or Knights taking a step back this season, because the Knights seem to be teetering on the edge every year, and like they make it, but I could see them finally, having a down year, which would be a shame for the lifelong Golden Knight fans.
Yeah, all 7 years of them. I think it's LA. I feel like they take a step back. The Drew Doughty injury doesn't help, and they tried to execute a rebuild and then kind of gave it up too soon, I think, and now they're stuck.
Yeah.
And Rob Blake just keeps signing baffling contracts and then trading away really good defensemen. Yeah. He traded away Sean Walker. He traded away Sean Durzi. He traded away, not a defenseman, but traded away Gabe Vilardi.
Traded away Cal Peterson. I mean, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, okay, that one he nailed. But it's just, and they traded away Brock Faber, right, to get Kevin Fiala. I think.
Oh yeah, but I mean that was a good trade for both sides. I mean, Fiala's been good, but I mean, if Brock Faber turns into a Norris Trophy candidate, they're gonna look back on that. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That they could surprise with a miss. My hot take, super spicy. I think the Avs teeter on the edge. Not because like Landeskog's a big question, and maybe he comes back, but he's not that good. Val Nichushkin is in the NHLPA program.
Yeah. I think he can come back in like November because I think it's 6 months from when he was in, so I think it's like mid to late November there.
Yeah, but do they even want him? Like,
yeah, I mean, he's a good hockey. He's a good hockey player,
but it's happened twice where he's just vanished in the playoffs for stuff like this. So they're like, you're not really helping the team here, bud. And Nate McKinnon is not going to put up with that shit, you know.
Yeah, and they're very top heavy. They have a great top line with Drouin, McKinnon, and Rantanen, but after that, right now, their second line is Nikolai Kovalenko, Casey Middlestat, and Callum Ritchie. So maybe they get Landeskog back and Nichushkin back, but the big issue also is in goal. Georgiev has kind of not been as good as they thought. He's okay. He wins games because the Avs outscore the other team, but like he hasn't been great in Colorado.
No. But you don't need that. I mean, Darcy Kemper wasn't a great goaltender, and they won a cup with him because the team in front of him was just so goddamn good. Dominant, the thing is, the team is not that. I mean, it's still really good. Like Nathan McKinnon's still going to be a Hart finalist, but they don't have that insulation that they had like 2 years ago. So
we also have Arturi Lehkonen. I forgot about. He's hurt. He'll be back at some point. Yeah, he's underrated, I feel.
Yep. And then the Jets made it last season, but I'm not sure about this year. I don't know if Hellebuck is going to put together quite as dynamic a season. We'll see.
Looking at the Central Division, like, I mean, they have the Stars are going to make it, the Preds are going to make it, and you got the Jets and Avs who both had 107, 110 points last year. So 4 good teams. The Blues are somehow always hanging around. Wild should be back in contention this year. So that's a tough division. But on the other hand, I mean, I said the Knights, you said the Kings. That Pacific Division is not good. You got the Canucks and Oilers are making it. Then you got the Kings and Knights. And you got Flames, Kraken, Ducks, and Sharks. Like Flames sold off a ton of pieces. Kraken, I don't think are quite there yet to make it back again.
I do think they make some waves this year. I don't think because they've got a new coach.
Dan Bilesma came up through their AHL system.
Precisely. And then Matty Benier should have a bounce back. Brandon Montour helps out their power play.
Yeah.
Chandler Stevenson helps out their depth.
Yeah, the Stevenson signing was weird because like I feel like he was carried by Mark Stone and
it's a bad contract. The length of the contract.
Shane Wright finally in the NHL, third line center, could work his way up.
Yep. And then Joey Decord stole the net from Philip Grubauer in the second half of last season, and I assume he's going to start with it this year. So I don't know. There's some interesting pieces in motion in Seattle. I wouldn't be surprised if they make some waves. I don't know.
Yeah, the Kraken are the team that I think if the Kings or Knights miss the playoffs, they're the one that takes their spot in that division.
Yep.
All right. Over an hour here, getting close to first pitch for the Phils, so we want to get out of here pretty soon. Anything top of mind we didn't get to?
Prediction wise, no, I feel like we could. Oh, is John Tortorella going to be the coach at the end of the season?
Yeah, he will be.
I
thought about having a spicy take, like he'll step down to give way to Brad Shaw at some point, but
no, it's Ian LePerriere. He's going to be the next head coach of the Flyers.
I watched episode 2 of The Standard that the Flyers put out on Friday night. There's good Brad Shaw just talking a lot in there, talking about these guys. Like I like what I see from him. So hopefully Torts can step away early enough to where the Flyers don't lose Brad Shaw to another team.
And then one other option or question, I guess. Who do they sell at the trade deadline?
They don't. They buy.
They don't sell. They buy.
The Philadelphia buyers. They make a hockey trade. They make a good hockey trade.
Okay. I can get down. I said it at last deadline. The Jamie Drysdale trade was a hockey trade deadline ad. They needed a power play guy, and Jamie Drysdale can be that, and he's young enough to fit the rebuild timeline. If they make a trade like that for a young prospect or a young player to fit a role they need, I'm 100% on board for this.
I guess the one option, like they could trade maybe Hathaway, probably not, or like a Delory.
They just signed him.
Exactly. Like I guess the one final question here is, will Rasmus Ristolainen be on the Flyers at the end of the year?
No.
I think he will. I think it'll be a next offseason trade. He's going to be the one that's talked about a lot. I think we're finally going to be over the Scott Laughton rumors at the deadline, but he'll probably be cropping up. But I think Risto's going to be the guy to watch.
Erik Johnson. I think Erik Johnson's going to probably maybe get traded at the deadline. He'll be in discussions.
I don't think so. Who wants I don't think he'll want to be traded. I think him and Briere have a good relationship, and like maybe Briere will trade him if the Flyers are out of it and he wants to like compete somewhere. But I think he's happy enough with his $1 million being eighth defenseman mentor.
Yeah, I guess it'll be up to him. I don't think he has move protection. Yeah, he has no contract protection. So if the Flyers wanted to, they could. But I'm sure they wouldn't.
He has former teammate protection. He has like he could retire and get a job with the Flyers protection. Like he has that in his back pocket.
Yeah. Cool. I think that about covers any lingering predictions.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. So appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you are subscribed to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Leave us a 5-star rating and review to make us feel good going into the start of this season. Not sure if we'll be back again before the Friday opener, but if we are, make sure you check us out. Make sure you check out Flyperbole. Hanks was on with Steve this past week.
Sure was.
Check out the Fly Guys. I saw we had some prospect expectations video and audio go up with Thomas, Maddie, and Jacob. So some good insight there. So yeah, a lot of stuff going up close to the season. BroadStreetHockey.com, Broad Street Hockey on YouTube, and Broad Street Hockey on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Joe, where can people find you?
You lovely people can find me at JF DeMarini on Twitter. Gilbs, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at @𝑟GilbertSOP. I still haven't had anyone say if they're on Threads or if there's a Flyers thread, so we're staying away from that for now.
One social site at a time.
Yes. All right. Until next time. Thanks for listening.
Go Flyers and Phillies.